I know you since primary school.
So lucky.
We know most South African relationships are hard with an average lifespan of 5 seconds, and while most celebrities are dating a new person every time you refresh your newsfeed, some have held on their lovers from childhood or varsity till today. So here are 10 South African celebrities who are married to their high school or varsity lovers. So watch till the end and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Number 14, Musa and Thobile Mseleku. Okay, let's start off this list with someone you might find surprising, simply because when people think love stories, they normally don't think polygamy. Well, Musa Mseleku is one such polygamist, having 4 wives as of 2024. The businessman has one wife whose story would like to give a little bit of a stroke because of how beautiful it is. Musa met Thobile when she was still in high school and she fell in love with him. Some may call it grooming since she was 14 years younger than him, and despite her age, Musa was still in his 30s when he met her. After dating, he had to break the hardest news you can break to a woman, and that is he's a polygamist. I'm sure you can imagine how well that conversation went. While Thobile was upset at first, she respected the man for coming clean about it, and as soon as she turned 20, he married her, and the two have been together ever since, and even now she's still mad in love with him. Number 13, Lelethi Khumalo. We're hoping we'd skip this, but like the story above, Lelethi met Mbongeni while she was as young as 15 years old and Mbongeni was in his early 30s, and some people think it was grooming, and to be fair, it ended up looking like it was. Mbongeni left his wife for Lelethi and married her while she was still a teenager, around 19 years of age, and their marriage couldn't be any worse, as the actress herself labeled it disgusting. Khumalo said the relationship was straight up imprisonment and she couldn't do much without Mbongeni's permission. He was very paranoid that he might lose her, and that was his biggest downfall. But when they divorced, their marriage had lasted a good 14 years. Number 12, Ncubeko Mbatha. If you're Christian, you must probably know Ncubeko Mbatha. Their musician joined Joyous Celebration in his early 20s, and that's where he met Ntokozo Mbambo, who was 16 at the time. The two were working together when they fell in love. As you can see from this list, it's not unusual for a man in his 20s to date a teenager in South Africa, or at the very least fall in love with one. So after falling in love in 2001, they dated for some years until Ntokozo was 23 and Ncubeko was 29 years old. The couple is still going strong, and they even have 2 daughters from their marriage. Number 11, Lebo Skobela. Don't be afraid, she's the last gospel singer in this list. Lebo Skobela is best known for a hit song, Lion of Judah, but what most of you don't know is that in 1997, she got married to Lucky Skobela, and at the time she was 16 years of age, and most of you at that age were probably in school struggling to find ex while Skobela was getting married, and obviously some thought the relationship wouldn't last because who gets married at 16, right? Well, we are 20 years later and the couple is still very much in love, with the Lebo gushing over how her man has been nothing but a blessing to her. Number 10, Kaiso Midubi. Okay, not everyone on this list will marry at 15 years, alright? Some of these people met in Varsity, and Midubi is one such example. He met his wife Lisa at Rand Afrikaans University, now known as UJ, 2 years before dating her and liked her. However, he didn't approach her because he believed he wasn't ready for a relationship. This was because he was still taking care of his siblings back home. However, 2 years later when he moved to Wits University, he saw her again and said to himself, if I miss this opportunity, I'll never get another one. So the following day he approached her, and 2 years later they moved in together, and the rest is history. Midubi is so fond of his wife, and the two have 3 children, something Midubi always wanted since he grew up in a family of 3. As of 2024, the couple has been married for over 20 years, and Midubi even bought his wife a brand new Mercedes-Benz for Mother's Day. Number 9, Natasha Joubert. While most of you think being Miss Universe means now you only date models, the truth couldn't be further from that, and Natasha Joubert and Enrico Vermaak are the perfect example to that. The two met in high school way before Joubert was Miss Anything and started dating when Natasha was only 18 years old, and years later they're still together. And while Natasha Joubert has won numerous beauty pageants, she's still very loyal to her first love, who is a regular guy to most, but to her, he's her Mr. Universe, if that's even a thing. Number 8, Khumotso Christopher. We thought we add these two because we know most of you probably don't know about it. So you may have seen Khumotso Christopher in many different compromising scenes on TV and wondered who the heck would allow their spouse to do such thing with other men. Well, that guy is Kelvin Christopher. He met Khumotso while she was still in her first week at Varsity. Kelvin was a transfer student from Princeton University in the United States. They linked up and have never broken up since. They have 2 beautiful children and a marriage stronger than most people's. Kelvin is a very secure mature man evidently, and despite her promiscuous TV roles in real life, Christopher is much more loyal than most South Africans. For example, how many of you have had a relationship last over 5 years or even a year? Some can't even reach 5 months. Number 7, Motlatsi Mafatsi. Like Komotso and Kaiso Mdupe, Motlatsi met his wife when he was at university at TUT. He was a church guy, attending church services and choirs at the university while studying, and that's where he saw his wife and said to himself, I would be the happiest guy if I had this girl. So he approached her and did his best trying to make sense, though word on the street is he just made her laugh until she said yes, cause women sure love a funny guy. While Motlatsi can't take anything seriously in life, he surely took this relationship a little bit more serious and stayed loyal to Millicent for over a decade, until last year when he linked up with an old friend, Gabsile Chabalala, and they started dating just a year after he divorced Millicent for reasons he claims were unrelated to Gabsile. Reasons such as, we grew apart, we both knew this wasn't working, and pathetic stuff like that. You know these lines. But what was more baffling was how Gabsile herself had coincidentally divorced her own man for similar reasons, like, I don't know, he was just becoming boring and annoying or whatever she said. It was almost like the universe had freed them for each other, or they had freed themselves. And hear me out, if they'd left their partners for each other, would they admit it? Number 6, Clement Mawuza. Now, we get into the hardcores. For those of you who know Clement Mawuza, you know that he's also a hard worker. He's not only an actor from Skim Sam, but a businessman and lawyer. But there's another part of him worth praising, and that's his love life and loyalty for his wife. The man has been with the same girl even before phones had good cameras. These pictures were probably taken on a donut, and that's how long he's been with his partner, and she with him. And honestly, her loyalty paid off, as the young actor can now take better care of her now. He even proposed to her in a live video captured by Oros, the Juice named guy. Oros Mampofu. Clement met his girlfriend in Varsity or prior, and she stood with him through thick and thin. And this is the type of inspiration Mzansi relationships need, because they'll leave you as soon as you lose a job in Mzansi. So big ups to women like her who stick around even in tough times. Number 5, Patrick Seleka and Mabaneng. While we're still on that scheme some stuff, Patrick Seleka is one such example that might make people question if they should stick around or not. He met his current wife nearly 10 to 15 years ago while he was still a teenager, and even had a baby with her at the age of 17. And while he could have left her like most South African men who just love running away from responsibilities, he stood with her. Well, sort of, because while everyone thought the couple was happy, the actor confessed to being abusive to his wife, saying he body shamed her, cheated on her, and called her names. He also confessed to ruining her friendships and coming home drunk. So while the couple is still together, it seems like it would have been better if they didn't stay together because of the abuse the lady had to go through. Patrick said he's a changed man, like they all say. Though he was the reason for his wife's depression, he has vowed to be a better man. Number 4, Lungile Radu and Bobo. Some of you may have forgotten about Lungile Radu, but don't worry about it, we'll remind you. Lungile Radu is a South African actor best known for playing Smooth Vilakazi on Rhythm City. While he was a playboy in Rhythm City in real life, Lungile Radu is a die-hard romantic and has been with the same woman for almost 30 years. And you may ask how? Well, this is because Lungile Radu met his wife Bobo in early high school. They met during a school debate, and Lungile was starstruck for life, and even since he hasn't recovered. However, the two dated for 18 years with a bit of a break until they married in 2014 in a traditional ceremony, and they've been together ever since. Number 3, Nasty C and Sammy Heavens. Another celebrity you won't believe was starstruck from high school is other than Nasty C. The young musical artist is one of the top hip-hop stars in Africa and has toured internationally, and yet in all of this he has somehow managed to stick to one woman. His wife is none other than Sammy Heavens, and the two have been dating since high school.
I knew you since primary school.
So lucky.
Way before Nasty C was a thing in popular culture, and they even have the receipts for it, some good old low quality photos to prove it. As you know, her relationship is not old without some good old low quality pictures. Just kidding. Number 2, Buntlem Disele and Pretty Ugly. Let's be honest, we can't talk relationships that come a long way without mentioning Pretty Ugly and Buntlem Disele. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they invented this high school lovers thing. But on a serious note, Buntlem Disele and Pretty Ugly are a pretty inspiring couple, and have many of us in tears at how beautiful their relationship is. Buntlem met Pretty Ugly in high school and linked up with him. In fact, she made the first move. Hope you ladies are taking notes. And Pretty Ugly said yes, and they've been dating ever since. The pairs unfortunately suffered one miscarriage, but God prevailed, and they have one daughter together. Number 1, Casper Nyovest and Pulani. Alright, number one. I don't know how many of you reached this stage, because you guys, anyways, Casper Nyovest has recently been trending for linking up with the love interest from his childhood. The young lady is Pulani. The two are childhood best friends, and she has known Casper Nyovest before he was even Casper Nyovest. And while this would have been good news, it was not so amongst his fans who accused him of promiscuity and leaving his baby mama Thobile. Casper admitted to being promiscuous and saying his money misled him and made his ego toxic. He admitted to hating his baby mama because of his ego and addiction, and said he had been single for 2 years during the podcast with Mpumile Dwaba. And now the musical artist has allegedly revealed he would be getting married to Pulani, his childhood best friend. That'll be all for today. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this.